Hi, my name is Peppa, I'm 21 years old, and in today's video I will be analyzing a game that I've played in a over-the-board tournament. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. And also, if you have any suggestions on further videos, please let me know in the comments down below. I will be so happy to see your comments. Let's get right into it. Okay, I had the white pieces here against my opponent who has the black pieces, and I opened with the move pawn to e4. Okay, my opponent played c5, the Sicilian defense. I went c3, and this is called the Alpine Sicilian, and the point is to gain the whole center here. So for example, if black plays here nothing, then you can just get the whole center here, and you have a lot of space advantage, which is good in chess. Okay, what are black's main moves here? d5, striking in the center. So again, striking in the center, and knight f6, also attacking this pawn, therefore striking in the center. And my opponent played knight f6, so he played one of the best moves in this position. I go e5 here, kicking the knight. He puts the knight in the center, and I go d4 here, grabbing all center and getting connect 4. This is very much theory still. Okay, he takes. We go knight f3. Now we don't have to worry about this because the knight is hanging. So we can, this pawn is pinned, so we can keep it that way. He goes knight to c6, well, this knight is still pinned. I go bishop c4, develop my bishop. Now he goes knight b6, I go back, and here he plays the move d5. This is the best move. Here, you can take here, and this is actually a mistake, because right now I am just so well developed. And I have a lot of space advantage, and my bishop gets out, and I can castle here. Therefore, this position is just better, even though I'm down a pawn. So very, very aggressive style of chess, which I really much like here. Okay, he goes d5, the best move. We do en passant, because that is also the best move, because otherwise he has a nice piece of the center. We don't want that. Okay, he takes with the queen, and I castle here. And here the main move is either bishop to e6, trying to trade off this strong bishop of mine, which is on wait, sorry about that. My strong bishop of mine, which is on b3, as you can see. And this is my strongest piece, so black wants to trade that off. Very logical. And an alternative here is maybe to take on c3. Then you might think, well, what if you just take back? Well, we can get into an endgame where black is a pawn up. But, however, let's say he does e6 here, very passive. Already knight to b5 here, and you know we have a lot of advantage. We have a lot of attacking possibilities here. Okay, for example, king e7. We can already play knight c7, but also there are some not right now. But for example, there are also moves of like knight takes a7, knight takes a7, and then when the bishop is on e3, we can take the knight. So there are a lot of ways to win back the pawn. So yeah, this is also very aggressive style of chess. So castles here. And he played knight a5. And here I didn't notice. So I was kind of thinking, well, what do I do here? And I kind of decided to go for a very passive route, which I think after the game we talked about this. And I think a better move here is to go knight takes d4, keeping the queens on the board. Pawn takes is not really good, I think, because then he can take this, and after the capture, my pawn structure is very much ruined, and black has the bishop pair, right? So these pawns are not very much, not good. Those are very much weaknesses in the position. So, yeah, I think here better was to take with the knight, but I decided to take with the queen. He took my queen, and then I took with the knight. And now I have a very solid position, but again, I don't really have any advantage here. We traded off queen, so kind of black is safe already. He takes my bishop, and now the point is that I'm taking with the pawn to open up this rook. And pressure here maybe on a7. So, yeah. He goes bishop d7, a very important move here. If you go a6, for example, already I think the move... I thought knight b5 was good, but it's not, because the rook is protected still by the knight. Okay, but the engine wants something like c4, maybe going c5 or something, and then maybe knight b5. Okay, but he played bishop d7, stopping my knight from going to b5, a very good move. I develop my bishop, not the best, but okay, still fine. He goes e6, rook e1, getting the rook on the file of the king. He goes knight to d5. I go bishop back. And he goes bishop c5. And now he wants to take this knight, I think, and ruin my pawn structure again. So I moved the knight back. Better was maybe to go knight f5, but I calculated here a lot, and I thought, well, it could be tricky here. But the engine says, you are not good at calculating. This is just fine. This is also fine. Castles knight to d2. And here we get eventually into a position where I blunder here with knight to e5. And I realized this blunder right away when I played this move. And the point was here, I thought I was very scared of maybe the move f5 here. Hitting the knight. And for example, where does the knight go? Well, if the knight goes to d2, he has maybe the move, he has the move pawn f4 here. And this bishop is trapped, right? So I was scared of this, and I thought this was going to be winning. But my opponent, to my surprise, he played bishop to e8. So now I was happy. Now I thought, how can I stop this? I play c4, but this is not the right move. The right move was to go h3 here. And after f5, knight d2, I was kind of scared still of this move. Knight takes c3. And if you take back, then you lose a pawn here. But the engine apparently says this is fine. I didn't like this at all. So what I did was something else. I played the move c4. I thought, well, why not hit this knight? But this is apparently again a mistake. He goes knight b4, and I play rook to d1. And now he should have gone knight to c2, hitting my rook. And then I have a very awkward position here. But he went back, and I was very happy. I was thinking, okay, how do I play this? Now, I'm taking here on c6. He takes with the bishop. And I go knight to d6 in. And this knight, it looks very strong. Still, position is still better for black because he has the bishop pair. And my pawn structure is very bad. He takes, and now he alleviates the pressure from my position. And we get into an endgame where we have opposite colored bishop, which usually means that there are a lot of drawing chances here. And he played the move bishop d5, to my surprise. And this is kind of a very nice move, because if I take here, he can maybe take on d6. And we just get a rook endgame, where I'm maybe even worse because of these weak pawns here. So a very creative move here, but this is apparently not the right idea. Here I have some bishop to e7 ideas here, and then I can go bishop to c5 right now, and now the bishop is hanging. And if you go, for example, here, I can even win this pawn while not exchanging rooks. This is the most important part. Do not exchange the rooks, because if I take here with the rook, then it's, I think, just a draw. Yeah, it is probably a very big chance that this is just a draw. However, I'm still a pawn up here. Okay, but I decided to go for bishop c5 immediately. Now he goes b6, and I thought, well, I can just take here. And I'm just up a pawn here. But I was wrong. He takes, I take. He takes with the rook, only move. I take the bishop back. Now he takes back, and the problem here was that I can't take because of a back rank checkmate. So, now this pawn I can't take. Now I need to move my king or move a pawn to get some luft for my king. I did that, but now he can just defend the pawn. And eventually after rook d4 and a couple of moves, we decided to call it a draw here, because there is no progress to be made. I think the last move was rook b4. He went rook a2, and here after rook takes and rook takes, we decided to draw, because I can maybe play rook d6, he takes, I take, and we have both 3 pawns on each side of the board, meaning that this is just a draw. So yeah, a very instructive game in the Sicilian, a lot of lessons to be learned. First of all, do not exchange queens too early, especially when you have a lead in development, like I have right here. I am castled already, I have a knight and bishop out, my bishop can go out right away, my rook can get into the game. Like, my pieces are much easier to be developed, so really taking it with the knight would be a lot better. Secondly, here eventually I made a huge blunder here, not seeing the move f5, but fortunately my opponent didn't see it. And here I made again a blunder here, but my opponent played a bad move here, giving me some chances to draw, and eventually he even gave me some chances to play a better endgame, which I didn't take. Unfortunately, I felt in the game that I was much worse in the position, and that a draw was very good result for me. I was very happy to have a draw, but again, we should still definitely look at moves like this, right, and evaluate this. And eventually we get into a position which is just an equal rook endgame, and we decided to agree on a draw. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Right now in the tournament I have 1.5 out of 2 points, so I had a great start, to say the least. And if you want to see further tournament games, please subscribe to this channel, and you will definitely see those videos coming tomorrow and the days after that. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye bye.